This is part 3 of a 3-part program where we've been painting a vase of daisies, and today we hope we can wind the painting up and think about composition and our balance and our picture structure. We'd also like to try and approach the situation we have when we want to make a change with something that's happened in our picture that we don't necessarily like. So let's begin by taking a look at what we have here. On our first program we did the vase and the tabletop and the background. In our second program we did the stems and the leaves and the daisies. Now let's suppose that as we stand back and take a look at this painting that we don't like the fact that there's a lot of action to the sides of our painting. For example, let's say we don't like these leaves over here. Let's say they're just a little bit too busy and too distracting and draw too much of your attention to the sides of the picture instead of toward the center where all the flowers are. Let's suppose we don't like these large leaves over here on the left side that we did just to give you an idea of what it's like to make those large several stroke leaves. Well, the first thing we would do is take a palette knife and scrape away any excess paint. And clean the knife, wipe it off carefully there. Then we could take I have here a piece of paper towel, or you can use a soft cloth, and this one's dry, and we'll start rubbing here and see what happens when we rub this color. Now once you rub a little bit of it, you might want to get a fresh clean spot, rub some more, and then get another clean spot and rub again. And most of our leaves are gone there. I got another one here. It's got just a few drops of paint thinner on it. I'll rub it with this kind of carefully though. Don't want to go all the way down to the bare canvas. We just want to get that leaf area away there. Let's take the knife and go over here to this side. Scrape away any excess paint. There's not very much there, as you can see. Find a clean spot. Give it some rubbing until it begins to smear there. And rub some more. Try and find this area with the paint thinner. We'll give that a little rub also. And most of that paint should be then gone. Now take a bristle brush, nice kind of a stiff brush, and begin to pick up some color from other places on the canvas with that brush. Look up here, we'll get some of that blue. We'll come over here and get some of this red. And then use that to go over the area that you have rubbed with the cloth or with the paper towel. Make sure that the brush you use for this is clean and dry. We'll go over here on the other side. Do the same thing. Take a 2-inch brush, This is the brush that we originally used to put the background in and help to blend it all in with the 2-inch brush. Who knows? You may like this even a little better. And there's how we can clean up our painting just a little bit. Now, one thing I like about what we have left is that we've kind of narrowed the painting in. We brought more of the action to the center of the picture instead of spreading it out so much on the edges here. Now, I think I would like to, I see just a little bit of green in this area here that I'm not so sure that I like so well. So what I'll do is I'll go back into our red and our white, and I'll get a little bit of that onto this 2-inch brush, and I'll use that to help blend this area in. Just a little, not much. A little goes a long way, especially when you're correcting mistakes. All right, let's go up to the canvas and do some more work with our flowers. I think what I'd like to do at this point is to pick out some places on some of these daisies that I would really like to make stand out. And if there's anything about any of the petals that I don't necessarily like this one right here, I'll shape them with a very small filbert brush. Now, this filbert has bristles, not sable, and we'll take a small amount of thinned pure white paint, load it up with that, and pick out the parts that we want to just really jump out. For example, let's just start with this one. We'll shape that so it has more of a daisy shape. Let's pick out a couple more like this one right here. And all right, let's pick another one. Let's take this flower up here and make these petals in front jump out. Bring them right to the front. There we go. Now let's take a couple of these petals here. See if we can get a couple of these to jump out into the front. The ones that are a little darker, we'll leave them back there. Leave them stay in shadow. And maybe this one over here. And here's one here. And that. Okay, this one here is really showing up well. I like that. So let's also take a small bristle brush here, and this is a bristle brush of a little bit larger. It's also a filbert, and we'll put a little bit of black on that so you can see this. Get a little bit of black on here and just a little bit of this orange color, and then we can take this and go up to our flowers and just on one side put a little darkness in there. A little darkness, just a little bit, just to make it look like it's got some depth to it. This won't take much, just a little bit. Okay. Now, go back to your small filbert, the one that we're using to bring things out with. Load it up nice and thick and just put a nice little dab on each one of these daisies here. Just one little dab, that's all it takes, and suddenly the sun is shining on each one of these daisies. Okay, now, who says that all daisies are white? Why can't daisies be yellow? So let's decide that we're going to put some yellow daisies in here. Let's first of all imagine where we might like to see them. Let's suppose we had one here. Let's suppose there was one here, and maybe one or two up top. Maybe a little small something over there to fill in that space. Well, let's begin by just taking a nice stiff bristle brush here and mix up 2 shades of yellow. And let's use the Indian yellow for one particular shade. Let's make a nice bit of it too. And then of course let's lighten it by adding some white to that. And I think what we could do is take some of this leftover white from one of our other paintings, and we could put that in there. And one of these colors will be our forward color that the sun is bouncing off of, and the other color will be our shadow color. So can you see 2 separate shades of yellow beginning to appear? Okay. And let's start off with a brush that's reasonably dry. And let's put in a center for each one of these little yellow flowers that we're going to do. And let's imagine that one is right here. I think I'd like to put some Van Dyke brown in there, just to darken it up a little bit. There we go. We're going to try and make this daisy leaning over the rim of the vase, kind of pointing downward. And we'll see if we can put one in right here. Got to be careful about darkening the color yellow. If you darken it with black, you'll end up with a green. And let's see, maybe we'll put in one up here. And the ones at the top of the painting are probably facing toward the top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I guess we'll have a little one over on this side, like right here. Okay, now let's go back and use that real small filbert brush. We'll dampen it and then dry it off with odorless paint thinner. And let's start with this one over here first. Let's start with our darkest color. Load it up nice and thickly. Can you see that very well? Come on up to the canvas and we'll take a look at that. We'll try and make that come in a little bit brighter there. How's that? And we'll try to put in another there. How's that? A little bit better. Have to reload again. Another one. And reload again. Do another one. And one more time. And then a longer one. All right. Then we'll let those be the ones in the back. Now, in order to bring out the ones in front, we'll use our much lighter color. Load up nice and heavy. And see if we can bring them out. Load up again. And again. And again, keeping in mind that our petals are not always of the same length. They all vary. Now let's go to another portion of the canvas, and let's go here. And again. And you can see where some of these are beginning to overlap the petals on the other flowers. That's okay. In fact, that's exactly what we want them to do.